You might remember that we talked to this gentleman on the right here when we wanted to go and make our journey to the last dungeon for 4 players that this particular expansion provides. And when we did, before we actually got to go to that particular dungeon, we had a bit of a meeting with the Emperor of Garlemald. And pretty much as expected, we achieved nothing. But the only thing that was of any solace to us was knowing that we could beat the Guardian Empire out on the battlefield, as we always do. But it came at even more cost to us. So with that in mind, greetings people of the world. Matthew back with you here at Navarre Autism for another edition of the Tales of Eorzea vlog here on Final Fantasy XIV's Exodus server. So, as you guys are fully aware, we spent a lot of the past week covering the new 4.5 main story, and last night we also finished the Zodiac Brave story. So we got 2 significant things taken care of over the course of the past week. We got a really, I would like to say a satisfying conclusion to the Zodiac Brave story, but as we saw from the videos, and spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, or watched the stream from last night, but we actually have not quite finished it, because it turns out that the damage we left in our wake turned out to be a veritable harvest for the Garleans, and it seems that the continued influx of Final Fantasy XII characters is continuing in this game. And we certainly saw that especially the most with Fran, who was Balthier's companion and fellow Sky Pirate in Final Fantasy XII, but she's branched out on her own in this story, so we don't get to see Balthier in this particular experience, nor do we get to see any of the other particular characters that you got to play as in Final Fantasy XII, like Ash, Fawn, Penelo, those people, as well as Bosch. And then, of course, with the main story taking place on Tuesday, we certainly had a lot to take on, knowing that we were trying to accomplish our goals, but also, while having that happen, continuing to lose fellow members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to the mind raping that's been plaguing us since the end of patch 4.4's main story. It's been quite the rough ride for our little group, and it could very well be that by the time we enter into Shadowbringers, we'll have no one left, as far as the Scions are concerned, and the Warrior of Light, as far as closest allies, will be all alone. I'd hate to think that that's going to be the case, but that's the way it's going right now. That is a very, very distinct possibility, and I can only wonder just how bad is it going to get. How many, will it be limited to just the Scions? Will we start to see other people dropping like a rock? Will we start to see the heads of state? Will we see General Raubon suffer this fate? How many more allies are going to be lost to the Warrior of Light by the time the patch ends, and by the time Shadowbringers comes around? Who knows how many we're going to be losing? I think for a lot of us, it's a very scary thought that that's something that we're possibly going to have no real allies at our side by the time we start the new expansion. Like, the only thing we really get to look forward to as far as the immediate future for us right now is coming up on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, with the introduction of a brand new class, which has been touted for a while since the fan festival took place last year, and that is Blue Mage. And Blue Mage has been something that people wanted into this game for a long time. I'm not one who really takes a really invested interest in what are the new classes that are going to be introduced into the various expansions. I just let Square Enix decide what goes in, and whatever happens, happens. And I just play the game and play with that particular class and see what I can do with it. And so it'll be interesting to see how Blue Mage will work, because as I'm sure you're all aware, Blue Mage is not going to be something that can be taken into battle right away. It's going to be something that is going to have its own standalone experience level gains, story arc. It can't go into dungeons. It can only do stuff out in the field. And the only way you can gain abilities, for those who are familiar with Final Fantasy as a whole, is that Blue Mage can only use abilities that are obtained by battling other enemies. And it's the abilities of the other enemies that you get from fighting them, and you get to use them in battle yourself. But it'll be interesting to see, because I'm expecting that it's going to have like a drop rate, like how successful are you going to be in obtaining an enemy's ability, how many enemies do give the abilities that you need to gain access to Blue Mage, and other things like that. So it'll certainly be Corinne's pet project from now until Shadowbringers comes out. Because of course they'll have Mathia will continue on his journey to getting all the experience level 70 classes, and of course with the exception of Blue Mage. And then once that's taken care of, I can try and start possibly thinking about leaning him in the direction of the Blue Mage, but we'll see how that goes. And then this evening there's also going to be the culmination of the Four Lords storyline. That's also something that's occurring this evening. That's we've been helping out the auspices over at Hell's Lid for quite a while now, and to think that it was all because we were trying to find a way to make some money, because we had to buy back Gosetsu's samurai katana, and the fact that it all happened because of that is pretty crazy when you think about it. And it's really weird that it's never really been in the arc of the story at any given point in time since we went on this journey to Hell's Lid. Yeah, knowing that we're still going to be substantially short in terms of money is definitely making us cry, and it's certainly bringing the rain down on us, isn't it? But we'll have to see how it unfolds, because, yeah, I don't think we're going to be compensated the way that we had hoped, especially for Totoro. I highly doubt that she is going to be compensated the way that she had hoped. So we'll see how it all unfolds and how the Four Lords storyline comes to an end, because, yeah, we'll especially need Soroban's assistance too, because he's been recruited into the efforts, and so we'll see how he's able to make things go along. So with all that in mind, we certainly have a lot to look forward to over the course of the next little while, especially since we're now in waiting for the next part and the finale of the Stormblood storyline to come to a close. So that's going to do it for this edition of the Tales of Eorzea vlog. As always, if you have a character here on Exodus or looking to create one on Exodus, and you're interested in joining our free company, we'd be more than happy to have you with us. So thank you very much everyone for watching, and until next time everyone, this is Matthew with Navora Autism, saying take care, and I'll see you soon.